I want to speak about Jamaica's education system and need for an overhaul. I have been an educator for some 30 years. I've had the privilege of teaching from the primary level. My first teaching assignment was a 5 grade class, and I went to a grade 4 class, 4, 5, 6. Went to teach grade 7, 8, 9, then went onward to beyond that to the point where I'm at today. And I want to look at what I've seen from the entire system. We're looking at a system that starts out with, let us say, 30,000 persons. I'm going to use some numbers. 30,000 persons are in the primary level. And say 40% of those persons, 50%, let's say 50% of those persons are competent at their grade level in math, English, all right, which would be reading, comprehension, task, mathematics, reasoning. When it goes further to the high school, the numbers fall. Look at the overall numbers now in terms of Jamaica's secondary education system. The overall number would be about 20% of those persons who enter the secondary education system are competent to do and successfully passed 560 subjects, math, English included. That to me is an indication that our money spent in the education system in Jamaica is not being done wisely. We're getting the value for the buck, the value for the dollar, in the sense that if 50% of our grade 5 students are competent, at the grade 6 students are competent to complete primary school, it means that 50% of those persons who are in the primary school system would have spent on them without getting that value for it. When it goes to the secondary level, the number actually dwindles from 50% to about 20% of those in the secondary school system adequately complete secondary education to the point where they are able to read, functional literate, passing 5 subjects, including math and English. So it means that 80%, we have lost 80% of them. Now, what does that say to us? Is that something is amiss with our education system. When you look at the number of persons who are passing mathematics, the numbers for Jamaica sometimes read 30%, 40%, etc., 20 something percent in terms of mathematics. But we need to understand clearly that of those who sit the examination, I can guarantee many of the schools do not send up all the students, unlike some schools, do not send up all the students, and therefore the numbers that we are looking at when we hear 30% of those who sat the exam, if we're looking at those persons who are in the cohort for the exam, the numbers may be as low as 5%, 10% of the cohort of persons who successfully pass mathematics. What am I saying? We're not getting the value for the buck that we are spending in our education system. Many of our secondary school students are actually leaving without being functional literate and functional numerate. Number of our graduates at the primary level are functionally illiterate. Let me repeat that. They are functionally literate and functionally numerate. What does that mean? Our education system is clearly failing the people, the society, and we are not only not getting the value for the money that we are spending on the education system, but there's definitely a need to look at our overall of the education system. This education system is not meeting the needs of society, and even at the tertiary level, the higher education level, it is not really meeting the needs of the society. The society needs particular skills, and we're not meeting that need because the functional high level of literacy among our people and numeracy. Many of our graduates are unable to read at the secondary and primary level. Many of them are innumerate. Yes, still we are spending billions of dollars in the sector, paying teachers, buying materials, paying electricity bill, water rate, etc. And we are not getting that value that we so desire. What are we going to be doing about this? Something has to change, something has to happen. And there's no denying it that we are not being efficient and effective and productive in education in Jamaica. A number of persons may want to deny what I'm actually speaking about. But the facts are, look at the results of the CXC examination at the secondary level. Look at the numbers at the primary level. Look at the number of persons who are able to read, write, and be numerate at the primary and secondary level. And then you'll realize that our system needs immediate overhaul. We're at a stage where we are not being effective and efficient in our education system. Something needs to be done about our education system, and that something cannot be left for tomorrow. It must be addressed today. We must address the challenge in our education system. What do you have to say? Like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide with trusted information for you to use to make decisions.